What do you call a student who believes that marriage is between one man and one woman? If you're a professor of public speaking at Los Angeles City College, you call that student a fascist bastard, refuse to grade his paper, and threaten to expel him. That's what happened to freshman student Jonathan Lopez in Professor John Madison's Public Speaking 101 course. A few weeks earlier, California voters passed a ballot proposition that affirmed marriage as being between one man and one woman. Professor Madison had assigned his students to deliver a brief, informative speech on any topic of their choice. Jonathan decided to share the ways in which he had seen God act in his life and in the lives of people he knows, through miracles. He also described his personal religious views. As a faithful Christian, Jonathan believes that marriage is between one man and one woman. He mentioned this belief during his speech. He even read the dictionary definition of marriage and cited 2 verses from the Bible. The other students in the class listened respectfully to Jonathan. Professor Madison, not so much. The professor interrupted Jonathan, called him a fascist bastard, and refused to let him finish his speech. The professor told the other students that, if they felt offended by Jonathan's speech, they should leave. When no one left, the professor angrily dismissed the class. As Jonathan gathered his belongings and prepared to leave, he noticed that Professor Madison had left a grading sheet on his backpack. The professor refused to issue a grade and instead wrote, "Ask God what your grade is." Just to be clear, Professor John Madison, a government official employed at a government-funded college who supposedly opposes fascism, censored Jonathan's speech because of his religious beliefs. When Professor Madison found out that Jonathan told the Dean of Academic Affairs, Allison Jones, about what happened, he confronted Jonathan and threatened to get him expelled from the college. That did it. Jonathan decided that he had to do something to make the college protect his First Amendment rights. Professors can't threaten and bully students just because they happen to disagree with their beliefs. Not in America, at least. And especially not at a public university where professors make their living on taxpayer dollars. So, Jonathan and his legal counsel at Alliance Defending Freedom sent a letter to the college's leadership demanding that they take action to correct Professor Madison's discrimination and threats, plus a public apology from the professor. College officials refused, saying that 2 students in the class were offended by Jonathan's views and that if the college decided to discipline Professor Madison, it would be done in private and at the college's own discretion. So, to recap, a professor at a public college punished Jonathan, a student and a believing Christian, for exercising his First Amendment rights. And that college, funded by taxpayers, did nothing to protect his rights and instead criticized him and defended the professor. Sounds pretty fascist, wouldn't you say? So, Jonathan and his attorneys filed a federal lawsuit against Los Angeles City College and its employees who were violating his First Amendment rights and discriminating against him on the basis of his religious views. After years of litigation, the court ruled against Professor Madison and in favor of Jonathan, awarding him damages for the professor's violation of his rights. Jonathan finished his semester at Los Angeles Community College, refused to drop Professor Madison's class, and received an A. It sounds like a happy ending, and it is. But think about this. There are countless other students on taxpayer-funded American campuses who, like Jonathan, just want to be able to express their religious beliefs without risking unjustified and discriminatory punishment from professors and administrators. That shouldn't be too much to ask for. But today, even in the United States of America, the land of the free, on many public campuses for millions of students, apparently it is.